Hello, this is wmpyr. For today's lesson, I want to talk about the wedge technique. So first of all, let me demonstrate what it is. This is what it looks like. So you're just going boom, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, all right? So from right here, it probably just looks like I'm doing a forearm strike. The idea here is that a lot of times in self-defense, they teach you that instead of throwing a fist where you could hurt your hand, you could break your hand, you could damage your hand, instead do a palm strike. And years ago when that was taught to me, I remember practicing the palm strike. I still practice it and use it today, but I remember hurting my wrist. And just do this to yourself and you could feel that it is uncomfortable. And that there is the possibility that you can hurt yourself doing a palm strike. And in my opinion, what's even safer than a palm strike is the wedge. The wedge is, like I showed you guys, this movement right here. And the idea here is that it's in between a chop, it's in between a palm strike. It's more at a natural angle, I feel like. So when you're doing a chop strike, maybe you feel like it's too big of a motion, and then if you're doing a palm strike, not saying that that's the correct way to do either one, but palm strike can also feel unnatural. Both, I think, can be very effective. You got to train it and practice it, but the wedge, I think, is much easier to pick up. So that's all I'm saying, and I feel that, at least for a beginner, that it is, chances are it can be much safer. Of course, everybody's different, but I personally like the wedge a lot because when you're coming from techniques like the Heaven 6, boom, 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 okay, this kind of movement right here, I feel like it goes in very well. So I'm able to transition my double stick skills to empty hand skills using the wedge. So, okay, the idea here, like I said, it's in between a palm strike and a chop. So it comes at this angle right here. And if you hit from underneath the pinky, the hard area on your hand, this area all the way to like the wrist area, and then it travels to the forearm and the elbow. So you're hitting with this entire from here all the way to here. So your weapon's like this long, right? So because of that, I feel like you have a lot more safer method of attack there, and it's just easier to land at, in my opinion, once again. So 1, 2, and it's game. You could land it around here, you could land it here, here, and even the elbow. It's all good. Now, let me also talk about the reverse wedge. So the reverse wedge, also kind of similar in idea, that it's like an in-between technique. Okay, so the palm heel strike is when you're hitting with the bottom part of your hand, right where the wrist is, right where the bone is, okay, and you go bam, like this. You're repeatedly striking with that area like this. It's kind of like dropping the heel. It's like the heel of your hand. So the palm heel, 1, 2, so you're striking this way, and then also, of course, you have a chop, right? So the reverse wedge is kind of like right in between both of those techniques. Once again, it's an in-between technique. It's a hybrid technique. So what you're doing here is this motion right here. So it's kind of like a chop, but it's also kind of like a palm heel. So therefore, you can hit with the whole area right here from underneath the pinky all the way to the palm heel. And it's this pulling motion, okay? Pulling motion, pulling motion. And I don't know, maybe for some people they might be like, well, that's kind of the way I do a palm heel, or it doesn't look that different compared to the chop, or maybe it doesn't feel all that different. But the reverse wedge and the wedge have two characteristics that are similar, that also work very well, once again, with Filipino martial arts, because we're flowing from weapon to weapon. So whether it's impact weapon like the sticks, or empty hand, or a knife, a bladed weapon, all of our skills get pooled. It gets transferred around. So both of those, normal wedge this way and reverse wedge this way, both of those go well with blades, because when you want to cut with a blade, if you just bring the edge and you just go like this, you're forcing the edge into the target and you're just using power to try to cut. So a good cut technique-wise is going to be pulling, is this pulling motion, or the opposite of that, which is a forwards motion. So the normal wedge has the forward motion, which if you had a blade, it'll go well with that. Or if you don't have a blade, then you could still do the wedge empty-handed. And then also we have the reverse wedge this way, which is you're coming down like so, and you are pulling. It's a pulling type motion. So please practice it, you know, try it out. These are both techniques I've been working for, I've been practicing them, training them for a long time, and they work very well for me. So it's something that is important in my system that I wanted to share with you guys. So please see if it works out for you, and if it does, add it to your arsenal, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. There's plenty of other techniques in the martial arts world. So thank you for watching, and take care, folks.